What's up, guys? So what are you doing?
What am I doing?
What are you doing?
Nothing much.
What my plans?
What are your plans?
Are you?
Yes.
I'm gonna f***ing kill you!
And welcome back to another episode of the Project WEBTOON's podcast. It's great to have another one in the bag, ready to go for it, right, guys?
Oh yeah, dude.
Again, I'm not dead.
That's what we all look forward to every week, man. Just not dead.
This every 2 weeks right now.
Well, right now
Facts.
it's every 2 weeks, but I'm glad that I check on you weekly just to make sure that we could have another week, another show in 2 weeks. So I'm of course once again your glorious host, Sleepy, and on my my left here.
I'm Seraph. Nice to see y'all again.
Hey, and we can see you again. Hey.
Yeah, exactly. This time it's better quality.
It's in much better quality. Not that vertical.
I'm back home. Yeah, I'm back home from Texas, so I'm back in the studio doing
Nice.
my own thing.
Oh yeah, good to have you. And last but not least, but our still less camered up.
Hey, I like not having a camera.
I know you do. I know you do. It's why
Our still not dead homie.
Granted, we can't see him, so we can't prove that this is an actual person. It might just be a recording, knowing him.
Didn't it so good?
Oh, I know you would love that. You would very much love that. But we're not here to talk about those things. We're here to talk about webtoons, and we got some good chapters this week. I think we're really good chapters.
Yeah, some of them are really dope, like the demonic master one. Man,
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was such a good chapter.
That was those couple of chapters were real good. And once again, like always, last minute, just before we're getting ready to go on air, legendary moon sculptor just bam, 2 chapters. Here you go. It's like they know our timetable.
I actually really enjoyed those 2 chapters that they popped up for Legendary Moonlight.
Oh yeah.
We'll get into it when we get there. But
Oh yeah, there's a lot to get into. I know, definitely. I know, Seraph, you're on your edge there constantly with solo leveling. Just
oh my god, no, I can't tell you how much I love this fucking thing. It's so crazy.
oh yeah, but we'll get there when we get there. We know we got a lot to cover, a lot to go through, but let's work our way through each one of the titles, as we all know. Everyone's coming through. But man, hey, we had a guest. Surprise guest from nowhere.
He's just heavy back like he's.
Yep. Oh man. Let's definitely jump into this there. But let's get up first there with since we only got 1 chapter of this, actually. Surprisingly, I was hoping for more, but I'd say we definitely jump up with Inso's Law for startups. I know that our last 2 chapters, since we actually had a double feature for that, we got our main character Danai separating from the group. And lo and behold,
Separated from the group in school.
Separated from the group from the school chums, but it looks like the author's deciding to go with the trope and give her a whole new group of school chums to meet up with.
Yeah, they gave her like a whole new group of chummies to hang out with. Like.
Yep. And just like always, they're all there's something a little mysterious about every one of them, and of course, as always, they're all magnificently beautiful.
Yeah, she went from the first game, and then now she's in the sequel. With
She's
a
in the
whole new
sequel
set of
game.
friends.
Well, yeah, because the first one they were just in elementary school, and now they're in
Middle school?
Were they in middle school? Yeah. So she's got to have a whole new group that's got to clash with the old friends. And of course, some of them, rather all of them being pretty, but we got a new female protagonist as well with her in this new group. Instead of it just being all guys. But
I mean, there was always
one girl for her, but you figured in this one it might just be it just might be all guys to clash with that, but it's actually, now we have 2 girls technically.
Yeah, pretty much just two.
It's pretty much 2 girls.
The main
so far.
character and then like a new girl to whatever, you know.
Yeah. we'll see where it lands. We're still waiting for another chapter to kind of figure out how that dynamic's going to work so far. Ark, do you have any ideas at least on what trope or direction they're going to go with this? Because I know you've read more on that.
I have no idea, because I was not expecting the second set of friends like this way. Like, just like, oh, I went to high school. You're like, okay, so she'll still be with them. And then now she's not. And you're like, okay, I don't know what direction we're going to this. Because we've already established, like, every single school, or, like, it's the conventional norm that everyone assumes that there's, like, the usual, like Otome game rules apply to every single school, but that you've never expected, like, oh, okay, but if you go from one school to another, does that mean, like, every single, like, classroom has, like, their own, like, do you understand what
like every classroom has their own four kings or four
every single classroom must be its own game then, right? Or like every two. There's always like the main classroom and then the secondary classroom, which is like all the scrubs that are in there, right?
Yeah, the rivals.
Yeah, the rivals, right? So that means there's like, so does that mean like this is how this works from this world where it's just unusual, like, oh yeah, we have this and then we have this one, and then but then now that we've gone from middle school to high school, like, because eventually you weed stuff out and like things get to meet each other. You're like, what happens when like game genres meet, basically, right? Because the first one has the 4 legendary kings. Yep. Oh, and then now it's like this one that's like less 4 legendary kings, right? It's more like what's the best way to describe it?
It's hard to say how to describe it because I was gonna say they're like...
It's more like a bunch of main characters from other games met each other in a room, right?
Kinda.
Because they're not like generic as in like, oh, these are the 4 main characters you have to chase after. These seems like these are the 4 main characters who were the main characters of that game.
Of their own respective games, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Especially with the one guy who seems like he seemed pretty normal at first, and then everyone started speaking. They're like, oh, he's like a top ranking archer in all of like Korea, and you know he's also a male model and things like that. And you're like, what? And then the 2 twins who both seem like they seem pretty average, but then like they're both like high ranking intelligent people or something, and they kind of compete. You're like, oh,
they're like some of the smartest motherfuckers out
here. yeah. But I mean, it does seem like those do seem like the setups for main characters of other games, and now Danai is meeting up with all of them as supposedly a side character, but somehow actually the main character in this game as well.
Not knowing that she's the main character of the story, she's just like, oh no, what am I doing? I'm the only person who's aware of all these tropes, people. Apparently no one else has played an Otome game in this world or something.
I mean, it's hard to say at times. It feels like sometimes she slips back and forth between being the main character and a side character.
The side character.
Like she's trying her hardest to stay in side character or even kind of move out of it, but she slips into main character every so often. So, you know, but still, I'm excited where this is going. I want to see what the next.
Interesting when we see the clash between the 2 sets.
When they actually meet up, because right now she hasn't actually like established a connection with everyone yet, outside of the fact she's now the class president and the other person is vice president, so they have to like meet up. But I'm waiting to see how those other 3 characters are gonna kind of draw their connections to her, and then how that's gonna affect the other group. Because, oh man. Jin-Un and Yuron Yang just full on depression mode without Danai.
I swear to God, bro, they just like, I'm gonna go sit in the fucking corner,
that
cry,
end panel
like,
with all of them, just looking at both of them, they're just all head down in the lines. I'm like, aw.
The struggle lines, like, fuck.
They just don't know what to do with themselves.
Exactly, bro.
Man, and speaking of people who don't know what to do with themselves, I'm gonna actually jump us right into this one. Descent of the Demonic Master.
Bro, dude, that new chapter. He's like, I'm gonna go find this cave in China, hit this mountain range. Oh, be careful of this mountain spirit.
There's a spirit in the mountain.
No, in reality, homie is like just a regular dude. Like you see him in his house. He's just like all dressed up in normal everyday clothing, and he's like, oh, I just have this just cause.
I do this because the locals make stories about me. Dude, come on. That was Florida Man. That was straight up Florida Man.
If I ain't never heard of no Florida man like that, then it ain't no Florida man.
Man.
That's Florida man to the max, G.
A weird man dubbed the spirit that stalks a mountain range, randomly attacks people, and then has tea ready for all the he deems just okay. Yeah. No, but
The clash between the MC and the Mountain Man was kind of tight because like
no, yeah.
he had to use his own inner chi to fight him, and then he was the Mountain Man was like, "Yo, you're from the Red House, dog. You are my master now. I must worship you."
Okay,
you know?
see, that's what got me is that we were so focused at least in telling that this was an isekai kind of world where he was just brought from one, when he died he went to one world and then came back to another, but now we're starting to get the simulation that no, this was actually all in the same world. This is just the past that he went to.
This is just forever ago.
Yeah,
like,
and he's come
that's
to
crazy.
and him coming back now because this kind of confirms it now that this mountaineer person shows up and goes, wait, I know your energy. How do you know that style? And he's like, oh, I use the red demon son. He's like, I'm from the blue demon house. And then he bows to him and he tells him like, our family wronged you. And they're like, you're the descendant of homeboy that betrayed it. Oh, okay. So I don't know what happened those years in between, but apparently they all like, no.
They all realized their mistake of what they have probably
he
done.
fucked up. We need to atone for this. And you're like, oh, so this is actually all in one world, and you know, all these masters and other people that are coming up, they might possibly be descendants from the people that actually killed him or made that went in that battle against him. So he might run into their later descendants, which is actually like, whoa, okay.
It's gonna be wild. And plus, when he walked into the cave and saw the two swords that were calling out to him, the Red House sword and the Blue House sword. And he was like, so y'all were the ones calling to me. All right, cool. And then he just like equips him immediately. Gotta go wreck some shit. But
he didn't have to go get a job skill for that.
Exactly.
He just clearly too high rank level.
What really got me was when the dudes from that the fucking triads decided to show up. They brought a whole ass sniper rifle, bro. They brought a whole 50 cal to hit this dude with it.
I mean, they know of the marshals. They're not stupid. So it's like, there's no time to be playing with small handguns here. We're here to take someone of power down. We're not going to play.
But smart people, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, an intelligent reaction. This is not an overkill. This is exactly as much power as we need. And even with that sniper rifle hitting him, he still got up and just threw homeboy through the side of his house, which
he like yeeted him across the fucking way. He was like, yeet and delete, son.
The one thing that I couldn't tell from that panel is I couldn't tell if those were just like just wooden boards that he threw him through, or if that was actual just straight up logs. Because the amount of power.
He threw him through the wall.
Well, he threw him through the wall, but I didn't know if the wall side was like logs, like a log cabin.
I think it looks like it's a log cabin.
It looked like it, so then that makes it way more.
Like a log cabin, but like at the same time,
it was fucking wall.
Well, yeah, still, but I mean,
it was like he was like at least 3 times his weight too. And you gotta think about that, dog.
Well, 3 times his weight, and he had a bullet wound, and he still threw his ass through that. I even love him waking up. He's like, "What?" It was crazy to see that, and it seems like they've lost track of where our MC's at because his plan was particularly just take down one and then gather a hostage. So, but the MC did make a mention that he walked to the one door and he said, I am not strong enough to go through this door. So there's another room with something far more powerful behind it, which I'm guessing is the room where
it's his old room.
Where he attains.
It's probably his like spear that he had in
Maybe.
like the beginning. If you remember, like he had that freaking spear, and then it was just like probably too broken for him right now. But back then he was strong enough to be able to use it. So
Maybe.
Later on in the story, he'll probably go back for it, and we'll probably see that spear.
Well, apparently he has to. It seems like he said he had to master or get to that level of the Azure key again. So he he needs to regain to that level before he can enter that room. So
The room's a power check. He doesn't meet the
he didn't have a blue key.
You need at least 200 AP to enter this room.
Oh damn.
At 100.
But yeah, I'm ready to see how he's gonna handle the triads for sure. I don't think he's gonna kill anybody yet, but I think he's definitely gonna put some hurt and a little bit of fear, and probably this is gonna bring forth, if not, this will lead into the marshal showing up and starting a real showdown.
Yeah, because you remember when the Martial Union decided to show up to the Triad doorstep and were like, "Don't fuck with us. We got him. You want to fuck with him? You might die."
We have plans, but clearly they wanted to get ahead of things, and I'm not sure how that's working out for him. Kind of how it is.
Honestly, I feel like
it's unusual. Like, oh, you guys are martial artists. We got guns. It's fine. We can deal with a person with a gun, and then not knowing how like ridiculous some people are, but like you realize I could just like block your bullet, right? Like,
well,
and that's what it sounds like.
Well, as we've
get
seen,
to that point eventually.
Well, maybe as we've seen with the MC, he very quickly was like, gun? Nope.
Yeah, but he's never tested against a gun before. He's just like, it's just safer to avoid that right now.
I mean, it makes sense.
It's unknown to him. He doesn't know what it is. He's just like,
well, it's not. It's unknown. He's just like, I know what gun is. I may not be able to handle gun. I mean, knives still work on me. It still may take a lot of them, but they still work.
True.
This is very, very true on that level. But moving on next here with My Wife is the Demon Queen. We got 2 chapters out of that.
Those chapters are pretty interesting because they open up, because of the ring, they open up the
we find out that at some point there must have been someone who came from his world to their world and a bunch of other stuff like that, because it's like, oh hey, I can read this language. How come I can read this language? Yeah.
Well, it definitely showed him that there were other races that we don't see very often, and one of them looked almost like I can't remember what game it has him, but they from Final Fantasy, they have the horns on their head and everything. They look almost monstrous like. I cannot remember the race, but it kind of looked like that. But then of course the language as well. So exploring the cave a little, or not the cave, but the ruins that they were able to found. The dungeon that they found and rolled up on. And of course, it's like all dungeons, there's monsters, because there's gotta be.
It's not a dungeon without one, dog.
I mean, this is true. It would not be a dungeon without one. But after exploring a bit of it, they end up running into just a horde's nest of slimes, which they make it out, and then run into a horde's nest of spiders. And on wanting to handle that, a dragon shows up, because as you know, the further you go, the worse it gets.
Exactly. And if the further you go, you don't see anything, you run.
Yes. If it stays quiet for too long, you've screwed up.
You run.
When they run into the dragon, of course, it can talk, and they start conversing back and forth. And L sometimes just I know why he's in the group, but at the same time, I don't understand.
You just gotta stay quiet.
Just be a little quiet.
You're gonna get your ass handed to you by a whole dragon, dog. Don't test its gangster, dog.
I did love that panel of him just, oh, you want to see whose might is stronger? And he goes to pick him up by the tail, and he's just like, what's up? Oh, right, dragon. And just
he really tried to test his gangster.
He did. He really did. I don't know why. But thank God that YB is there to always keep things in check. I was kind of wondering.
Yeah, big time.
I was kind of wondering if she may have made a move or do something to like let the dragon know who she really is. But I did that panel where he's just like, "What? You don't come to me like this. I will destroy you." And then all of a sudden she's just like, "Oh, for real? Blade beam." And he was like, "That looks like death." Nope. just to the side.
Oh,
yeah. I'm a sidestep right out of this because it's gonna get real bad.
He really wanted to test Yi-Biz gangster right there. He was just like, I'm gonna back away and not test that.
Yeah. And then L once again in the corner, just like, you showed her all your strength, why not me? And I'm like, do you remember the opening panels where you know, the arm wrestle and the dude on the ground, yeah, this is this all over again. This should be natural for you, homie. You should be used to this. Oh, but I don't know if we're gonna get an end with them either taming the dragon or taking it down, or we're gonna see something crazier with that. But it's hard to tell. I know even with 2 chapters, we're still kind of like trying to get out the rest of the story with this, but I'm still keeping strong with it all the way around.
I just
What
feel like the
I think
MC.
it's the fact that we went from basically a tournament arc to a
adventure story?
world expansion arc that it feels slightly it slowed down. It came to a halt almost because it's like, now we're going here, and you're like, I'm not saying I don't enjoy the story, but this is a weird crawl of pacing compared to the fight.
I mean, the fights were like, all right, end match, small bit of dialogue, new match. So we're just like you're kind of getting through one to the other. Whereas this is kind of like a long crawl of no real problems, just more talking, world building, character development, and then now we're in a situation, and we're kind of hanging around that situation a little bit more. So we're not to that next point where we would have a new opponent or a new revelation on something. So we're in that slow crawl, which is okay. I'm fine not having, you know, a chapter or 2 here of a webtoon that isn't, you know, gripping me by the heart every other second. So this is all right. This is a nice steady read. So
It is. I like it a lot. The way it's progressing is pretty nice.
Yeah, it's progressing on pretty strongly. And speaking into progressing along pretty strongly, Peerless Dad.
You know what? Again, like what I mentioned before. You know what? He's not as stupid.
He's
as,
not
like,
a complete idiot.
He's just very much knows how to think like a thug, and that's all he knows how to do.
I don't think he thinks just like a thug.
Like,
He's
Hunter
a step
Hard
higher
would
than
do
that. Come on. Give him some credit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's an idiot. Like I said, he's not an idiot. He's more.
He's very street smart instead of book
he's
smart.
Yeah,
street smart and
street
not
savvy.
book smart. Yes.
So
I mean-
that's how, like, when they decided to fuck up a bunch of shit in the town, and all the fucking guards were like, we ain't do shit. That was like all his idea. He's thinking like a street thug. You know?
I mean, he's thinking like a man who knows how to handle some bandits, some thugs, and some ruffians around the town. You know, I mean, he was a
I mean, he's used
mercenary
to
for
it,
multiple years. I mean, that was his job.
He's used to it.
Yeah, but him trying to like, all right, we don't want these people around, but we can't fight them because we're their guards and they're the citizens and we're not supposed to hurt them, even with like seemable probable cause. You know, hey, what if we just basically become the new thugs and just take them out? Then they can't blame us because it's like we didn't see anybody, no guards were around, and you're like, this is more intelligent than we would expect from you. Because usually it's just, all right, fight. We'll figure out the details later.
Yeah, true.
So, but I mean, the plan so far it seems to be working. I mean, the last chapter we got, he does get confronted by one of the heads of house, you know, like,
higher ups,
yeah, like, hey, you need to stop this off. He's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, we clearly know it's you that's going around town. It's like, did you see any of us? Did anyone else here see that? It's like, nah, we were doing our job. So the plan's working out. I just don't know when it's actually gonna start causing some problems with the other heads that they're gonna be like, all right, we need to either crack down on them or we need to like start killing some people. That's what I'm really wondering. What's gonna step up next. I know I think the last 2 chapters we haven't really seen the kids either or anyone else, so we're getting more focus on like him doing this part of the
His
job.
own thing, like,
you know, still to say it's still good. I don't know. I don't know if he actually is bringing or if he's like recruiting some of the ruffians, because it looked like through some of the pages he was like beating them
he was
up.
trying to get them to join him.
Okay, I
Like,
couldn't tell.
That's what it looked like.
It looked like a few of them, because a few of them it looks like he had them like go in the middle of the town and they were in their underwear and he has a sign that says I am a criminal. So he's like shaming them and stuff, like letting other ones know that, you know, this isn't gonna keep going on. Shit's going down.
It's either you join me or I beat the shit out of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's pretty much how it goes, and he's really, really good at it. So
You're doing a great job at it so far.
this is true. I'm still wondering when we'll see the outcome of do you remember the one female character that's in love with him? Do you remember her name?
Yang.
Yang, yeah. I'm kind of wondering what Yang was up to, because she got warned that if she does something again, she's basically going to get ousted from the family.
She's gonna be outcasted for the family.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what she's actually doing.
Right.
What she's doing in the background there. I'm kind of wondering when that's going to come in ahead, or granted, at some point we'll get that Scott Pilgrim brain turn, and he'll be that realization.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But we still got probably a little ways from that. I kind of hope he runs into his master again. I believe they said he's not dead.
Alive. We know
that he's alive. Yeah.
The only other thing that could have happened to him is what happened to Noya.
Oh, he
ascended. Like, that's probably like the only other thing that could have happened.
That's
to be honest, because he was on par with Noya, and he was like good friends with him anyways.
Yeah.
So you really don't know what happened to him. Either that, or he's just exploring the world, fucking around.
I mean, both are possible like abilities for this. I mean, that's kind of what they seem to do all around from time to time. But we'll have to see what comes up next from that. We still got a lot more to go, so good news on that front. But moving along here, keeping the pace up. Let's see. How about some legendary moon sculptor?
I really like the way that they brought it out. They showed off all the swordsmen and the swordsman and his disciples all building houses to do quests and stuff. And then, like, out of nowhere, this dude just shows up, was like, "All right, I challenge you to a fight." And then they duke it out and whatnot. And he just goes, "All right, I'm gonna give you a quest." And then now we're starting to go toward the swordsman arc type deal for him to get more screen time, more panels and whatnot. Which would be pretty dope to see, because I really want to see more of him. I like his character. I like the way he works and the way he is.
Yeah.
And it's dope that he was like, "All right, all 100 of you, go off, do your own thing. It's time to actually explore the world and get stronger. We will meet back up here in 6 months."
They're going on their walkabout. The master training, where you take everything you know and use it to find your own speciality in the sword style. So yeah, that was I did like having a chapter where we split off from W.E.B.T.O.O.N for a little bit, go to somebody else. And I'm glad it was cool, the old master too. Yeah, having gone back to him, because I'm trying to remember the last time we saw the whole group was little bit after the Sky Island arc, where he built the tomb for the king. Yeah.
That was like the last time they all got together to do something.
Okay, because I swear I thought they were in a forest and they were being attacked by Amazon.
The elves.
Yeah. It's been a little bit since we've seen them. I knew they were doing something, but I couldn't remember if they gone off and joined a guild or anything like that. But I mean, granted, they have enough members to be a guild themselves. But it's good to see that we got a little refresher as to what they've been doing all this time. And
I don't know what, I think the old master has found a secret quest.
Probably.
Oh, he did. That's exactly what that hinted at, because everyone, he just followed what we did. He was like, okay, just keep doing something retarded a million infinite times.
Well, I mean, they gave us that little side panel pop up.
It's fine.
Exactly. Probably nobody else has found this quest yet. He's the only one, so then we're gonna start getting our little arc of him going through this while we goes through his school stuff.
Yeah. With his little sister.
Yeah, his little sister in school stuff.
Getting in the university. So proud of her. But yeah. I'm glad to see what we'll see with that. I'm hoping that we'll get some side panels or some side chapters with some of his other friends and what they've been up to, and hopefully see how they progressed through a few of the pages, and if we'll slowly get a reunion where they'll all meet back up with him, or if I'm pretty sure a few of them have watched his video that he did and uploaded and showing off the new class and
heroic everything.
Yes. So I'm expecting some craziness. It was a little late. I know, like we said, we got like 2 chapters like just 2 days ago. I'm hoping that they get back to a regular pace.
That'd be really nice, to be honest, because like I want to see more of Dane as well, to show up and see Weed and stuff like that, go on adventures with him. Like, to be honest, I really liked it when he went on that little thing with Dane and then made the sculpture of her. She saw it and all that. Like, I want to see more of her, to be honest.
Very, very much. Did you see the panel with the sculpture, and it's got all the
like
everybody that saw it, they like scrolled stuff on it, and it's just like I starved. I'm like, what the hell? It's just like even in a video game, people just
why
spray
y'all
paint
go disrespect this?
You just tagging stuff.
Like yeah. Come on.
Everywhere and anywhere. It's just it's crazy like that. Oh man. Oh, but it's keeping up the pace there, man. We are really moving along with this today. Let's see.
There wasn't much out really, so like.
I mean, it's
some
definitely
of the
true.
Things were kind of more boring. So
imagine if we did this week by week, we'd have absolutely nothing to talk about, honestly.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
we definitely would have to think of other things, which is something that we're currently discussing right now. But we wanted to get to that last bit there with solo leveling.
Bro, when he showed up with his whole army, man.
First, that's... Though Jimmy was right, I do not like the way this.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, like, it'd be dope to go see his dad pop in and like whoop some ass, or like a different character. Like,
I just want a progressive story. It's fine. It's cool that he's going to kick ass, but the truth is, he had no real reason to show up and save these guys at all, and that's why I was so confused.
The only reason why he probably showed up was just to get more shit to add to his army.
More or less. That's exactly what I would expect. It's like, oh.
Especially since he puts himself in a position to reveal his secret. Like, right? Oh, I can raise armies. Like, he is...
They already know he can do that.
He's a mage. They know he can bring up... but not that many.
Yeah, he's a public figure now. Like, now they're going to know, like, this one man is a literal one-man army. Like...
Like, you see what he's got behind him, dog?
I mean, well, they've said that there are other warriors out there that are basically, well, they're the global fighters, and they're basically one-person armies themselves. They just... Yeah,
literally. So, like, you remember, I feel like that one dude who showed up in front of the CEO of the Korean Hunter Association?
Yeah.
I feel like he's one of those national treasures.
Yeah.
Those global guys, because he showed up and was like, all right, here's my price. Done. He didn't take it, so he had to leave.
Yeah, it's like literally, I'm not doing this for nothing. But those are the type of fighters that they have, that they're just so powerful, and so it's like you can't make them do something. They have to willingly do it themselves, and you more or less you're working to entice them into it
to help reclaim this land.
Yeah. So I mean,
you saw how big that dude was.
This is true. This is very true. But. Yeah, I definitely was been more happy if Dad showed up. I'm not saying it's still not possible, but it makes sense because we saw him do the whole setup with him, inserting the shadow into all of those people during the fights. So we know that he was at any moment he was watching and had a potential to do the switch. So at some point or another,
funny how he just showed up right when the strongest guy shows up.
I mean, there's no reason other not to.
True.
There's no reason to have the big bad show up without, getting the master involved too. So, for real. But, with most of them down, I mean, hell, the I don't know if I would call him the Ant King, but Miriam, he already knocked out, what was it, Japan's strongest? Was that?
He knocked out Goto Ryuji. Like it was nothing, dog.
Yeah, like
it was like a walk in a park for the Ant King.
Very much so. And the fact that the first thing he says when he comes to him is like, "Oh, an ant that talks. Isn't that cute?" He just doesn't fear. Granted, he's got like Arch said, he's got an army behind him, so he very much doesn't have to. So what's our percentage that he's going to take him as one of his new slaves, since we know that
100.
Since we know that it doesn't always work. it can fail.
I think it's going to be problematic then when people realize that he can bring back dead people also. Like,
He can bring back
We can-
humans as well.
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
So, like,
anything
and
that's
he-
died recently, he has the
Yeah,
ability
and he's
to.
done before where, like, if, what's his name, realized that he
the
killed his
iron.
brother, and
The
was
one
like,
dude's brother.
that shadow there is my fucking brother, and yeah,
Well, so-
that's the kind of shit that's going to go down.
Well, so far, no one's noticed it either.
No
so,
one, yeah, but this is the first time he summoned it in front of everyone like that, though.
Yeah,
This
in
is
front
true.
of people. So like, if they probably take a realize that he can do that, it'd be a terrifying thought of he could off my head right now and make me a part of his army.
Well, I mean, so far we've seen that the association has already has enticed him to try and join once. The president himself came and basically prostrated in front of him, and even he made a small assumption. He's like, there's more power behind that old man than I can sense or tell. So even that's a little bit like I should make sure to watch myself. So he at least has a good in, and we all know that the main character, he's not evil, at least so far that we've seen. We
Yeah.
haven't seen any new developments, at least explaining exactly full on how his power set actually works and all of the like weird game logic that seems to occur every so often. So we still got some digging to do. Hopefully within the next 2 or so chapters we'll get an end to this arc at least, and we'll get a crazy ass fight between these two. Because they've already made more than the writers already made more than enough of a presence showing off exactly how powerful the Ant King is and how quickly he can take out other S ranks. So I'm really hoping for some really good fighty fight panels with this.
Oh yeah,
Crazy
no, it's gonna be
splash.
awesome. I'm just like excited to see Jinwoo use the demon sword, and as well as see Igris pop into action.
Oh yeah. It's been a little bit since we've seen all of them kind of pop off and get into it. Not since the orcs, that whole
The
bit.
orcs, or even the
elves?
demon, when he was in the Hell Tower,
Oh right, yeah, the Hell Tower, which was
and he fought the Demon King Baron.
which was a crazy. Oh man, that's one thing I didn't notice him pop out, which may come out later. He didn't pop out his dragon.
Yeah, Kaisel. He didn't pop that out yet. But then again, the cave is kind of small.
This is true, but
So
that
he
might
kinda
be
had to
something
bring
that
out the big guns. Like
that might
the
be something he
hardcore
pulls
big
out
guns.
when he has all the other. He's outside. He's got all the other flying ants to deal with. That might be
Mhm.
something he throws down. But yeah,
Like right now, the main big guns is Tusk, Tank, Iron, and Igris. And I'm
Igris.
very excited to see Igris with that new sword.
oh yeah, very.
With that new sword, that's gonna be popping off for him.
Oh
Like
man,
Igris is my favorite shadow. Like, to be honest, even though he was like the first, one of the
first
first
one.
main ones, but like he's still like my favorite one because like his character design is flawless. It's beautiful.
Oh,
Like,
it's very good. I do like that all of them seemingly have a little bit of different personalities. So far, I haven't seen
Like-
much from Tusk or Iron
uh,
as much.
Iron,
Tank, I've
Iron is more so like they did show off some of Iron where he's just like, oh, I want to impress Jinwoo, and then like
Oh,
he's
wait,
kind
that's
of a
Iron.
goofy guy, you know?
Yeah.
He's more so goofy, and then with Tusk, he's just like an orc. He's just like dumbfounded, like, did I do good? Yeah, hello?
I was kind of hoping we'd probably get something overly done with his bear shadow, but so far he hasn't done. We haven't really seen it do very much. But
The
yeah,
only thing that like Tank has gotten was the class advancement.
yeah,
That's about it.
that's about it so far. But yeah, Tusk or not Tusk, Iron and Igris have probably had the most like small bits of character like development show off
out
to
of
themselves. Like
out of
they-
like the 4 main shadows that they have right now, like it's still dope that they have like slight personalities to them.
yeah,
You know, like they're not just strictly a soldier. They still
Mhm.
have like some type of feelings.
They have
but that's toward Jinwoo.
yeah, toward Jinwoo, always to the master, you know, always pleasing the master. But man, wow, we really did cover everything super
Hold up.
fast with that. What's up?
Real quick. So like, if Jinwoo makes this talking ant his soldier, do you think because it's so strong that it would be able to talk as a shadow soldier?
You know, I don't know. I mean,
Like that's a good theory.
I don't know
Think about it. Like, it'd be his first soldier that talks.
this is true. Well, I don't know if it's strength that determines all of their character. Like if however power they were when they are alive will translate over into their shadow form, so they'll carry some of those attributes. Because it's not the only shadow he has that essentially could talk before, because both Tusk
Tusk
and
was able to talk,
Iron
and Iron
were well, one was orc and the other one was a human, so you'd figure they should be able to talk.
But also, the intelligence of this ant is much more higher than theirs.
Probably, yeah.
Because it picked up human speech just from hearing the other humans.
Well, it ate what's his name's head.
Oh yeah, it did eat a bunch
It
of
literally
humans.
ate his head in order to gain the ability to speak. So.
You're right. I'm an idiot. Don't worry.
No, it's fine. I mean, you were pretty traumatized with what's her name getting like completely knocked out of the fight right away. And the first thing this thing does after it does that is just, oh, I see you have a healer. Nope. And then it's just like, I now talk like your healer. This isn't at all psychologically messed up, right?
What do you think if since he can't heal Chahai, with the potions?
Yeah.
What is the possibility of him resurrecting Min Byung?
With not the healer, but their the archer.
Resurrecting the healer back to life. To heal Chahai in.
I don't know.
You're not terrified that would be fun.
It would be really, really weird. But at the same time, it said there was a time limit.
Same problem that I have, where it's revealed to the world now that he can, resurrect anyone. So that becomes a problem.
Well, it depends. We already saw him do the resurrect, because the first thing he did was bring back some of the dead ants. But they couldn't. They didn't. At least the camera guy didn't understand what was happening. So we don't 100% know how far in. And we know the association knows that he can at least bring up the shadows. So they have to have some idea.
But they don't know how he gets the shadows, though. Now they do, though. Like, when he resurrects a person that's already dead, that's a problem.
Well, we already know that one other person saw him resurrect. We know, actually, the association does know because Sunglasses was there when he resurrected the orc.
Oh, that's right.
So they know.
Chahai In knows that he can resurrect all.
We don't know if Chao Hai, Moonbak, and all of them know. We don't know.
No, Chahai was there too because she walked in to try and help out all the A rankers.
See, you got me on
they both walked in. I remember that strictly because that fight between him and Tusk was my favorite battle.
I just liked it because
So
Chao Hai showed up and they asked her, "What are you gonna do with that shovel?" Nothing.
She got a whole ass pickaxe ready to fucking beat her ass, dog.
But yeah, so there's at least there's some knowledge as to what powers he kind of has. We just don't know how far they've actually looked into it or how much he's going to reveal more so as. But if he does, if it comes down to it, I can't heal her and he has to resurrect the healer, that'll be good for him overall group wise because it's one of the few things he doesn't have on his team.
Yeah, the only Tusk is even a healer.
He's not a healer. He's more of a black mage more than anything. He's just straight up damage, and he has protection skills, but he doesn't have actual healing skills. At least that we've seen. So
yeah, because he does have the hymn stuff.
The hymn of
so
hymn of
so
protection.
He has 12 different abilities, and we've only seen a total of 5.
Because the hymn of fire, he has the hymn of protection.
The hymn of growing,
the hymn
so
of growing,
it makes him giant.
So there's a chance that grabbing a healer who not only can heal but can cloak his own appearance so that no one else can see him makes him just vitally great. So you don't ever have to worry about him getting taken down.
And it's crazy because when he resurrected Iron's abilities went up tenfold.
This is true.
So the healing abilities, if he heals him, is just gonna shoot
straight up. And better yet, now that you bring up him resurrecting the healer, what about him going out and finding Ryuji and resurrecting him?
That'd be wild, dog. Having a actual S-rank hunter who can fight pretty well.
S-rank hunter.
A full S-rank hunter who's number 1 in Japan.
Granted, the ant is much more enticing to resurrect than him because he knocked him out. But still,
both the ant and Goto would be pretty fucking broken, to be honest. That'd be absolutely nuts. Because then, in his future dungeons, if he ever decides to fight goes to other S-rank dungeons just for shits and giggles, he wouldn't really have to worry about anything because he has both Goto and the Ant as well as Egress going in.
This
for
is
him.
true.
He
I
can
kind
just
of
stand there and just let them fucking ravage the entire area.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering with him coming in and after this whole fight's resolved, if he'll now strictly, they'll basically be only assigning him like strictly double S rank dungeons. Because that's one thing I've noticed that's happened ever since he gained his abilities is that every time he enters a dungeon, something always weird goes on that shouldn't
Something
necessarily
happens
occur.
that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, and it somehow changes the dungeon to either be stronger than it was, or they get they basically get a double dungeon where an unknown creature appears that's more powerful than they could have ever.
Yeah, like at the very beginning where he walked into a dungeon and they found that double dungeon.
Yep.
He just so happened to be there.
I kind of wonder if going
Like that's fucking terrifying.
very much so.
Knowing you were the weakest hunter, but yet bringing so much trouble.
Well, the curse of the MC always.
I
Just
swear to
everyone
God.
gets trapped into it.
I
Oh
swear to
man,
God.
it's what it is. It's what it is. Oh, but that covers about everything this week. I know we did run through it really quickly, but it was a short week for a lot of stuff. Some things only
For a
came
lot of the
out.
webtoons, we had a bunch of like shorter.
Yeah.
shorter weeks.
I mean, like
there wasn't much more to really talk about all of them, except
Yeah.
for like Solo Leveling, because Solo Leveling had a lot of content to bring about. Like
This is-
even in just that one chapter, dog, it was like so many possibilities that could happen, so many things that you can see. You know, like with what is it, Moonlight Sculptor, they didn't really bring out too much.
It was more just
from the
build up for.
chapters.
We just got over a pretty big, a minor arc for the main character, so we're moving into setting up a new one. So this is that lull
Mhm.
time where we're just kind of everything that's happened, in his outside life rather than in the game. So
Mhm. And then
we got that.
The My Wife is a Demon Queen, they didn't really bring out too much other than them just going out to clear a dungeon. There
Yep.
wasn't really too much hidden in the panels or like the text or anything like that. Like
Yeah,
would
Descent of the
normally
Demonic
see-
Master was probably one of their higher ones. It had the appearance of the Florida man, but but also the fact that he's a descendant of the
the Blue House,
Blue House Path
which is
of Dragon.
a big thing to reveal. Actually,
Yes,
Like,
yes, a very, very large thing. But
huge.
we're definitely expecting that's gonna get a little more crazier. Inso's Law only had one chapter this time since that small gap, so there's still,
Behind a paywall, unless you want to pay the paywall.
which will probably was what's gonna happen just so we can actually move much further ahead. I do know that going forward, we'll still keep this part of the show bi-weekly, just because we know that these are the ones we really like to cover, but with them all happening at such sporadic times, this way we get enough to cover. But we are going to try and have another show coming forward where we'll be covering probably 2 or 3
Other ones.
out books that we're just actually going to overall cover and as suggestions to everyone out there, because we started actually, since we opened up to the Twitter, we've started actually getting people suggesting other comics and webtoons that we think might be interesting that they might want to hear us cover, and we're kind of giving us a chance to like, hey, let's talk about these, because Arc, was it you or was it our other homie that brought to us the beginning of the end? I think it was. Wasn't it you?
No, that was me. That was definitely me.
Yeah.
'Cause I
You-
That was
read
him.
like a shit ton of stuff, and I'm just going through everything. So yeah.
This is true. You do consume on a mass level, but you brought that to us, and honestly, I really still hate you for it, but I read through that whole thing so quickly that I was like, I want to go to the site that he's putting this on and pay him so I can get those extra chapters if they're there possibly.
Exactly.
And it's one I wanted to this is almost good enough that I want to bring it up in our podcast and talk about, because it's just, it gripped me so quickly.
It's
I
just so
really
nice.
enjoyed it.
Like, fuck.
Yes, and we've gotten a few other ones that I've been like, I need to read them, and there's others that I'm just like, man, I really like this, but I can't add it to the roster right now because I don't want to overwork us with all the other chapters and have people kind
That
of
we all gotta read and go through and everything.
well, not
like
even just that, but just covering like, everyone. Then we get here and everyone has to listen and be like, okay, which chapters of the eight issues of things that are they going to cover? And if we go overtime or anything, but that's something that we'll look forward to. Hopefully, I think we're going to plan with our next cast that we'll actually have that going. But yeah, we got some things cooking to come out for you guys and girls out there, so that you can enjoy this, and hopefully we can put out more content that you guys will enjoy in a steady stream. But I'm not sure what else I could say for this. Seraph, you got anything you want to jump in on or topic here?
We're still discussing about Discord things, so we can
Yeah.
have our own Discord channel.
Yeah,
We haven't really discussed about it since the last time I brought it up, but
we haven't super discussed it, but I mean, it's not difficult. We got some things that we want to put into. We still got to figure out if we want to make a separate or join up with our big
our other
Nichans.
yeah, the Oni-chans.
Our Nissans.
Oni-chan.
But yeah.
I'm a fucking weeb, but guys, god damn it.
We make even you embarrassed. It's all good.
Don't worry, man. If you hang around with me too much, you'll just get used to it.
It's a common thing. But also, I recently had a podcast with some of our other friends there, the Worst Generation podcast, as well as our big brothers. We'll put a link to that below so that you can see it. You can listen to me and the fellas there rant and rave about our experiences growing up with anime and manga, some of our discussions, whether we like black and white over colored, anime or manga, kind of things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put a link to that below, and a shout out to the Worst Generation podcast for having me on there. Great bunch of guys. It was super fun. But
also, one more thing, I'm also streaming this live for our podcasts every 2 weeks. It's going to be coming out on Saturdays at 1 p.m. like usual. And if you guys want to be able to catch that, Sleepy there is going to post down a link down in the description, so then that way you guys can be able to catch us every 2 weeks, so then you guys can stay updated with us.
Yep. And as always, I mean, hey, join, of course, hit that subscribe button down below if you want to join us, and also hit the bell so that you can be updated when we have new chapters come out, and also leave comments down there so you can give us a shout out, tell us about what you're doing. Definitely, leave suggestions to which you think some of your favorite webtoons are. We'll definitely like to hear them, read them, discuss with you out there in the community, and also join up on our Facebook over with the Project Manga podcast as well down below. We'll leave a link there.
And then
so much
also, shit, what was I gonna say? That happened.
It happened.
If you guys enjoy our content and would like your friends to see it, please be sure to share it about help the community grow. We don't have many. We actually don't have any Webtoons podcasts out there.
Not
We're
that
actually
I know,
like one of the first ones,
There's
so
not that many.
Nice.
A lot of them I see are mostly just like 1 or 2 specific webtoons that they really like to talk about. So we're hoping
this
that
one are just kind of more diverse than others.
Yeah. Well, we're really hoping to grow a little bit more though. But hey, I think we are good with this so far. Unless we got anything else we want to kind of bring. Hey, look at that. But hey, I'm glad that we could all talk with this, and I'm also happy that you were here to join us for our second episode. See, I remembered. True. Ark, I got it. Ark, I got it. But hey, thanks for joining us, and please join us again.
Wanted to count from 0.
I know how good you are with this. You make me feel so special and warm. But I'm gonna sign off here. It's been real with your boy Sleepy. And there's Seraph. Just keeping it real. And of course, as always.
Alright. I thought Seraph was going to say something.
He looked like he was.
He did it.
Oh!
Is this mic dead?
I think your mic's off, homie. Flip down. Flip your mic down.
We forgot him in the beginning, too.
We're good. We got this. We are professional, y'all. Professional.
Sorry, I gotta have it push to talk because I'm streaming too.
Oh man, this is so good. All right. Thanks for joining us, y'all. Take it easy out there.